Do you feel frustrated trying to grow your franchise? Are you having trouble balancing your consumer and franchise development marketing? Do you wish there was an easier way? Imagine if you had a proven roadmap to take your franchise's marketing from costing you to making you money. That's why we've created the Franchise Growth Blueprint. We walk you through the exact same process that we use to run franchise marketing campaigns for our clients at scale that has resulted in triple-digit growth. This blueprint isn't for anyone. It's not for people just starting a franchise. It's not for franchises without long-term goals. This is for franchises that want to scale up their marketing in a predictable and profitable way using a proven roadmap. If you want to sell more franchises, keep your current franchisees happy, and learn from people who have already done it, go to franchisegrowthblueprint.com and sign up today. That's franchisegrowthblueprint.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Franchise Marketing Podcast. Today, I'm very excited. I have Joe Delatte, who is the president of Home Clean Heroes. Joe, welcome to the show.
Jordan, thanks. I appreciate it. Love being
here. Of course. It's great to have you on. So for listeners who haven't heard of you and Home Clean Heroes, what are you and your franchise all about?
Home Clean Heroes is a residential cleaning franchise, part of a parent company called Buzz Franchise Brands. So Buzz owns 3 different franchising concepts right now: Pool Scouts, British Swim School, and Home Clean Heroes, and was the original founder of Mosquito Joe. So experienced franchise parent company, as well as experienced franchisor. We've been operating since 2017. We've got a corporate owned location in Virginia Beach where we are located, and now have 9 franchisees across 5 states as well.
Awesome. So what has it been like, growing over these past few years, and now going from essentially, proven concept corporate location to 9 franchisees?
Yeah, it's been a really rewarding period for a number of reasons. Of course, it's been a really challenging period too, because the height of our growth at this point has been through the whole COVID situation, which it's a double whammy challenge, because you've got everything involved with being inside people's homes. You're making sure that you're protecting yourself as well as your customers, as well as the employment situation that the entire country and world is dealing with right now, but particularly in the U.S. With service brands and just about every place. I mean, restaurants, every kind of business concept right now is really finding it challenging to get the right amount of employees to grow the business. So both of those things have turned into challenges, but also very big advantages, because there's never been a better time to be in the residential cleaning business, because people have an extremely heightened awareness of how important it is to keep their home sanitized, as well as their lives sanitized. So we've really leaned into that. Home Clean Heroes, just as a brand, is really well positioned to take advantage of the need there and really build into it. So we've beefed up all of our processes and all of our protective gear and disinfectant concepts, misting services, everything that people are doing to really protect their home. But then in addition, the employment situation, if you can find ways to win at that game, not only do you find ways to grow your employee base, but your competitors who can't do that are losing customers. So there's a real high demand for our service from anybody who can service them. When you in our business, residential cleaning business, it's sometimes not a very sexy business if you think about it, from appearance. But if you think about it as a business person and an entrepreneur, it's a time-proven concept. It's built on the backs of a loyal customer base with frequently recurring, predictable revenue. So it's a really strong business. So and it's high demand and continues to be in high demand. So if you can get that employee base in line right now, you will grow at a greater scale, because you've got an influx of customers that can't be served by your competitors.
Interesting. So tell me more about this talent acquisition that you've been doing to help put you head and shoulders above the competition.
Yeah, so there's two things that you have to be able to do. One is acquire or attract the talent, and that's become, somewhat of a an expensive proposition, because you've got to win at the game of acquiring talent, and that means signing bonuses, that means higher wages, that means tactics in place to really make sure that you're at the top of whatever advertising marketing scheme or system you're using to get in front of potential candidates. But then more importantly, once you get them in the door, you've got to retain them, because there's a lot of, it's a continually evolving type of a marketplace for employees. So it's not just financial compensation by any stretch, and this is an important thing for everybody who has employees, but it's how you treat and train, and really emotionally reward your employees. That makes a difference with how they will provide you with the kind of loyal service that you need as a business owner. So it's those two big things. It's being competitive from a price standpoint, but then also being very attentive to the employees and nurture them so that they are happy where they are and they feel part of your business.
Yeah, I think there's a pretty well-known saying of, people don't leave companies, they leave horrible bosses. And, being able to listen to your team members is critical. So what have you been doing to help promote that, so you're able to kind of bubble up feedback, across franchisees, employees to head office?
Well, the one thing about Home Clean Heroes and Buzz franchise brands is that we are a very data-driven company. So we collect and we analyze everything, both from the business metrics as well as from the employee side. So, we're constantly surveying employees as well as customers, so we know who's happy and why, and where there's opportunity to improve and why. But the most important part, as far as the employees go, is set them up for success. So uh, the first thing that we do there is we make sure that they're well trained and well informed before they go into a home. So we've got a complete 7-part video training program and assessment that they go through so that they're actually certified to go in and serve a customer. And then there's hands-on training with certified trainers. But then we're providing with uniforms, equipment, vehicles, the work that they do every day, and reliable compensation. So it's a professional organization, professional company. But I think the biggest thing for an employee to set them up for success is that you've got to constantly be in communication with them and give them good tools to communicate with the office and with the customers. So the field management software program that we use, that we do all our scheduling, all of our invoicing, all of our routing of all of our work, is cloud-based, mobile enabled. All of our cleaning teams have access to all the same information that the office manager has. It's a 3-way texting program, which is how we find more and more. That's how people want to communicate. So very robust texting program. So Jordan, if you're my customer and we're coming to serve you today, but you just changed the lock on your front door, change the combination, you can text that back to us. It's going to go to your account. It's going to go to the office manager. It's going to go to the team in the field on the way to you. So you just respond to the text that came to you, said we're on our way. Hey, it's Jordan. I changed the combo today. Here it is. And then everybody's in link. And that's really important, because you want your employees to feel like they have a channel of communication with your customers, but you don't want to give that away completely so that the office manager and the owner, the franchise owner, don't have all that same information. Because at the end of the day, the owner of the franchise is the one who has the relationship with the customer, and they've got to make sure that they know everything that's going on with it.
Very, very interesting stuff. So switching gears over to, balancing compensation and profit, how do you find that balancing act of, compensating employees and team members adequately to help motivate them, both on a bonus level and a salary level, while keeping profits in mind?
We'll get right back to the show, but do you feel frustrated trying to grow your franchise? Are you having trouble balancing your consumer and franchise development marketing? Do you wish there was an easier way? Imagine if you had a roadmap to take your franchise's marketing from costing you
to making you money. That's why we've created the Franchise Growth Blueprint. To find out more, visit franchisegrowthblueprint.com. That's franchisegrowthblueprint.com. Now back to today's episode.
Well, again, you go back to the data and the analytics. We track every job down to the job, as far as margin, labor costs, overall profit margin on the job, gross profit. So the systems and the tools that we have allow the owner to see exactly, number one, how long is it taking my team to clean inside each house? What's my labor cost on the house? What's my margin? Did I get the price right? And that's a somewhat fluid environment because, look, we're living through probably the fastest escalating inflation, the most volatile wage environment that we've seen in a long time, probably, in a lot of people's lifetimes. We have to go back to the 80s to see the kind of inflation that we're seeing right now. So you've got to be able to operate in that business environment and have clear visibility into what your profitability is on your jobs. And, your prices have got to reflect the margins that you've got to attain with your business. Because if not, you're not in business. And it's a conversation that a business owner has to be comfortable having with a customer. I run a business. I run a business in order to make a profit, to feed my family, to grow the business. So if it doesn't run profitably, I don't have a business. You don't have a cleaning company. So it's an important thing to be able to track and monitor. So that visibility into all those different aspects of the job, the profitability, the costs is critical to have at your fingertips. I've got that visibility into every franchisee's accounts as well, so that I can get on the phone and work with them. That's one of the things that because you work within franchising, you understand the value propositions of it. But having that kind of support from the home office to be able to analyze, hey, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? Where am I off track? Where are my opportunities? Those are the kind of things that we do every day because we can see the same kind of data with alongside our franchisees.
I love it. As a marketer, I live and breathe data every day. So I really appreciate how you're using it from an operational level. I'm curious, like, how did you and the parent company Buzz start to realize and understand, hey, we need to track this data and get the ball rolling with actually implementing this system? Because I know some franchisors may not have that in place just yet. So I guess to clarify my question, what are some things that franchisors can do to start tracking this important data?
Well, I think the first thing to do is you've got to have the right tools to do it. You've got to have the right system, because if you're trying to completely track it manually, you'll only get a small part of your business, and you can't make decisions based on that. You've got to be able to see the entire operation to do that. The operating system that we use is called ServiceMinder. It provides us with a lot of visibility into that data. We overlay that with a business information tool called Tableau, so that all of our franchisees have dashboards at their fingertips with all the key operating measures. You asked how did we first come to the conclusion that we need to track that? I don't know that there was ever a question of what we needed to track in order to be in business, and in order to know. Those are the steps of franchising. Have a concept that works, prove the concept, make sure that you've got a concept that's replicable, and then put it in place and continue to track it so that you can make sure that your franchisees can achieve the same results that you've reached in your proof of concept. So in order to be able to feel comfortable about that, I've got to have all that information at my fingertips, because I don't want any of my franchisees to get too far down the road to the point where they don't know where they lost track. So it's a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month look at all the operational measures, and that information's got to be at your fingertips.
Very cool. I love it. So switching gears a bit, Joe, this is a marketing growth podcast. So I'd love to hear, what are some of the initiatives that you've taken internally that have really moved the needle for you and your brand?
Well, I think one of the things that, to understand this, and you'll appreciate this from a marketer's perspective, this business, the residential cleaning business, is, like I said, it's built on the back of loyal customers. A customer who's happy with their cleaning business, they don't want to look for another cleaner, because it's a fairly intimate service that we provide. We're in their most personal space. They need to have somebody that they can trust. And once they find that one person they can trust, they don't want to lose them. So what does happen though is inevitably, life circumstances, events, my favorite cleaner, whatever it is, something changes. And when that changes, that's when somebody is all of a sudden thrust into the decision-making mode of, I got to find a new cleaner. I got to replace X, or I was never happy with Y. So our business is about being top of mind. It's about being found when you need to be found. And then once you're found, having a good, visible, recallable brand, and then two, have great references. So the review base, your online reputation's got to be spotless. So the way we do that is a consistent, ongoing, and methodical application of a digital strategy, so that keyword searches, digital display advertising, social media, push, just everything within the digital environment is there, so that anytime anybody goes searching for us for whatever reason, they're gonna find us. So paid ads at the top of competitor search, all the things that you do to really be found. Second, at the kind of core foundation of one of our outreach strategies is we employ direct mail. So on 5 times a year, we're going to drop direct mail through the market, and we're talking about snail mail, printed postcards that there is not much competition of anymore. We'll do everything else with email as well, but that, then we work with our franchisees on a local strategy as well, so that they're out in the community building brand awareness, both with grassroots marketing, yard signs, drop off pamphlets at all the target geographic areas, doctor's office, dentist office, any place you'll find a potential target customer. But then on the backside of that, we have a third-party partner that we work with, and we're constantly surveying our customers. So the first time we clean your home, you're going to get a net promoter score survey, and we're going to ask you, will you refer us to a friend? And we're going to get a 1 to 10 score based on that. And then every 90 days, you're going to get a follow-up survey, so that we make sure we stay in touch with the customer and we don't have any situations happen where a customer wasn't happy and we didn't hear about it. So that's a fairly sophisticated process where we're tracking net promoter scores, and then also asking for reviews. So if somebody says, hey, I really like you, we'll just, hey, will you please go ahead and post that? So we're building online reputation for our customers. That's all handled through our third-party vendor by the corporate office. So, all those pieces are in place for franchisees, so they're constantly in the marketplace, both building brand awareness and then measuring their customer base, building online reputation, so that when somebody goes to find us, they find a well-known brand with a great reputation.
I love it. I love it. And to that point, well-known brand, reputation, those two things are key, especially in very fragmented markets where you don't necessarily have one or two main competitors, but you have hundreds or thousands of mom and pops, which, home cleaning is definitely in that realm.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, 80% of the providers, 80% of the revenue generated in this category is generated by moms and pops and local independents. People would think that it's the well-known franchise brands that are dominating the market, but it's not really. It's the moms and pops, which is a great opportunity for a franchise operator, because again, you've got a much bigger ocean to be pulling from. I'd rather be competing for that 80% than for the 20% of the available market.
Exactly. So Joe, one question I always like to ask is, what advice would you give someone just starting off as a franchisor?
Okay, so we went through sort of the steps before, but primarily it's make sure that you've got a concept that's in demand, that's well proven, and you've beaten all of the bugs out of it, so you know where the tripping points will be for your franchisees. and then build a support model. Make sure that you've got all of the data that you're going to need to be able to coach and support your franchisees, and then people in place that know the business that will be able to be that support system for your franchisees.
Awesome. Very cool stuff. So, Joe, we are nearing the end of the episode. So one way that I like to end it is with something that I call the lightning round. So it's a few fast-paced questions coming at you. Are you ready?
Let's go.
All right. First one. What is your favorite tool or app that you cannot live without?
ServiceMinder.
Awesome. Next question. What is your favorite book?
Wow, my favorite book. My favorite book is a fun read called Calico Joe. It's a Grisham novel about baseball. If you've never heard it, you should pick it up. It's really cool.
That sounds awesome. I'm gonna have to add that to my reading list.
Yep.
Who's a franchise leader that you look up to?
Kevin Wilson is the CEO of Buzz Franchise Brands. I mean, there is nobody smarter, nobody's more supportive, nobody more casual, but really builds a great environment and culture here for Buzz.
Awesome. All right, Joe, last question. Where can people find out more about you and your franchise?
HomeCleanHeroesFranchise.com.
Awesome. Well, this has been an absolute pleasure chatting with you today. And thank you so much for sharing. I know our listeners are going to really appreciate all those knowledge bombs you dropped.
Great. Well, I appreciate the time. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Take care, Joe. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Franchise Marketing Podcast. If you found this episode useful, share it with a friend and subscribe now so you don't miss out on any upcoming episodes. And until then, happy marketing.